Shalom and welcome to Torah for the Nations, and my Bubby lives in Israel. Are you ready to learn some more fun things about Israel? We had a holiday yesterday that I'm going to tell you about, but first I want to tell you a story. So there was this brother, and he took his sister's bike. Not only did he take her bike, he took it without asking her first, and when he brought it back, it had a hole in the tire. And she didn't know about it until what? She goes to get her bike and there's a flat. And she was so angry. And so she confronted her brother and she said, "Did you take my bike without asking? Did you get a flat?" So there's several different things her brother could say, right? He could deny it. He could shrug his shoulders like, "No, it wasn't me. Don't know what you're talking about." Or he could say, "Yeah, what's the big deal? Why are you so dramatic? Why are you being so hysterical over a little flat tire?" Right? He could have said that. Or he could have said, "Yes, I'm sorry. It was me. I took your bike. I'm really sorry." So I think it's pretty obvious what he needed to do. He needed to say he was sorry, of course. But that's only part of the problem, because now what? The bike still isn't fixed, so what he could do is he could say, "I'm sorry and I'm not going to do it again." And then if he knew how to fix the tire, he could fix it himself, or he could take it to the bike repair shop and get it repaired for her. So you see, the brother and the sister, so they have this relationship. But what happens? He took her bike without asking. He brought it back with a flat tire. And she's angry. So now they're not connected anymore. Now there's not peace. She's angry. So when God made human beings, he didn't make them perfect. He said, they're not like the angels. The angels are perfect. And robots don't make mistakes. But human beings make mistakes. But God wants us to fix our mistakes. So when the brother said he was sorry, and then he said, "I'm not going to do it again," and he fixed her tire, then their relationship was restored. They were connected again. Okay? So, now part 2 of this learning time is about when God was going to pick the next king for Israel. He wanted a man that knew how to say he was sorry and to fix the situation if he did something wrong. He didn't want a perfect man. He wanted a king that would be humble, not blame others for his mistakes, not deny that he did anything wrong. He wanted a king that would take personal responsibility. So there was a woman named Hannah, and she had a son named Samuel. And Samuel grew up to be a prophet. And a prophet is like a seer. They see things. When someone tells you something and you go, "Oh yes, I see what you're saying. I know, I understand." A prophet has this special way of seeing things that other people don't see. So God said, "Samuel, I want you to go to this man named Jesse's house." And Jesse has 8 sons. And so let's just look at this, like we'll pretend that this is Jesse. That's the dad. And he has 8 sons. And so Samuel is going to Jesse's house, and God is going to tell him which one of Jesse's sons will be the next king of Israel. And so you can see that 7 of the sons are there and 1 isn't there. So when Samuel gets there, the oldest son comes out, and Samuel looks at him and he thinks, "Wow, this is probably the one, because he's so tall and handsome and strong. He would make a good king." And God said, "Samuel, you're a seer, but you're not seeing. You're looking on the outside, and God sees the heart. Man sees what's on the outside, but God sees the heart." And so every one of Jesse's sons came. And each time Samuel, they were thinking, "Is it him?" And it was like, "Nope, nope, nope." And all 7 It was nope. So Samuel said, well, Jesse, do you have any other sons? And they're like, oh yeah, one more, the little one, David. He's out in the field with the sheep. He's a shepherd. Samuel said, well, you need to bring him to me right now. And so they brought in David, and as soon as Samuel saw David, he was not only handsome on the outside, but he had a heart that was right with God. He was the kind of man that if he did something wrong, he took personal responsibility and he knew how to fix it. And so Samuel said, David will be the next king of Israel when he grows up. And so when David turned 30, he became the king of Israel, and he was the king for 40 years. And then he passed away when he was 70. Okay, so I want to tell you about some place that we went this week. Yesterday was another holiday called Yom Kippur. Yom means day, and Kippur means atonement, but you can say at one-ment. And so you remember when the relationship was broken between the brother and the sister because he took her bike and didn't ask, and then they weren't at one-ment anymore until he said he was sorry and he did what he needed to do to make them at one. So we have a day set aside. And a lot of people during this time, they go to Jerusalem. So when you look at, this little stone I found at the beach is shaped like Israel. And if you're going to Jerusalem, Jerusalem is right in the middle of Israel. It's like a belly button. Just like in the middle of your body is your belly button, Jerusalem is like the belly button of Israel. And so you know when a baby is born, it comes out and it's connected to its mother through the belly button. So it's interesting that we would go to Jerusalem, the belly button, to connect back to God. God is like a father and a mother. He's our parent. And we're connecting back to God through this belly button. So a lot of people, there were 2 million people that went to Jerusalem. And you can see in this picture, this is the wall, this is where people go. In this picture, there's not that many people there, but when we went, there was lots and lots of people wanting to make a connection, wanting that at one-ment with God for this holiday. And so we call this wall, in Hebrew it's kotel. Kotel means wall. So when you come to Israel, we'll go to the kotel. And I wanted to tell you that, I talked to you about that you could write a note or something, or you could read prayers. But there was this little boy, and he went and he wanted to pray, and he didn't know how to write, and he didn't know how to read, but he did know how to say his alphabet. And so with all his heart, he just said, A, B, C. And he went through his whole alphabet, and then he said, God, I don't know how to make words. I don't know how to write, but I do know my alphabet, and I know you can take all those letters and make the right words. So you don't have to worry. When you come to Jerusalem, when you come to make your connection, you're at one-ment with God. It doesn't matter if you can read or write. You just give him whatever is on your heart. And if you want to just say the letters that you know, that's good enough, because God will see what's on the inside. God will see your heart. Okay? So when we make a mistake, it's totally horrible because God expects us to be perfect. True or false? No. Okay. When we make a mistake, are we supposed to blame others or deny that we did it? Or are we supposed to take personal responsibility? Do you remember? What are we supposed to do when we make a mistake? Okay. When Samuel went to choose the next king, where was David? Was David there at the house, or was he out in the field watching the sheep? Okay, and what was the name of David's father? Who was that man that had all the sons? Was that Jacob or Jesse? Okay, and when God chooses someone, does he look on what's on the outside or what's on the inside? And when David became the king of Israel, was it for 4 years or 40 years? Okay. And when we went to Jerusalem, was Jerusalem down south or in the middle of Israel? Where is it located? And the word kotel, does that mean gate or wall? Okay. And the holiday that we just celebrated, is it called Yom Kippur or Yom Kippurich? Remember? So when we have this day of atonement, do we feel sad and lonely and afraid, or do we feel loved and connected? Okay. All right. You're learning so much. I'm so proud of you. All right. We'll see you next time. Shalom from Israel.